Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another comfort food for the entire family. Tonight's recipe is delicious. It is perfect for adults and kids alike. It is a lasagna bubble up and oh my goodness, is it divine. So let's get started making our comfort food for the family that is WW friendly. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to comfort food for the entire family. Tonight's dinner is going to be lasagna bubble up. This is a dinner that is sure to please all of the kids and adults alike. It's easy, it's delicious. It really is a really good alternative to lasagna, way less points and just as much flavor. So here is what is in tonight's lasagna bubble up. First, we have some low fat or no fat cottage cheese. You'll need a can of biscuit dough. I have the 0 Point crock pot marinara. I did sub this out from the original recipe, which lowers the points. I have Italian seasoning, low fat or no fat ricotta cheese. You are going to need some egg whites, so I'm just going to use eggs and break those and only use the white. And then I have a red onion, a pound of 96.4 or extra lean ground beef. And you will need some light shredded mozzarella, and I love the Trader Joe's, so I'm going to use that, and some Parmesan cheese. So that is everything that is in the lasagna bubble up, and then we are going to pair that with a side of this Pig Sweet Farm steamable broccolis. So let's get started on tonight's dinner. The first thing we need to do is get our ground beef browned. So I'm going to go ahead and let this brown. You do want to drain this as well. And while this is cooking, I'm going to prepare the rest of the ingredients for my lasagna. Once your hamburger is browned and drained, as you can see that I did here, we are going to add in our diced onion. So I have approximately 1 cup of diced onion. And the recipe does, of course, call for the red onion. So we're going to add that in. And then I have my 1 1/4 cup of the 0 Point crock pot marinara. Now you can use a bottled pasta sauce like the original recipe calls for, but I use this one only because it does extremely lower the points of this recipe. The original recipe is sort of high in points. So just by using that 0 Point crock pot marinara, it does lower the points. And this is in one of my meal prep videos. I'll see if I can find it and link it below for you guys. And then I'm going to add my Dax Italian seasoning to my meat mixture. Get that stirred together really well and set that aside. We are going to do a layering effect in our dish. So there is my hamburger mixture all ready to go. Next, we're going to cut our biscuits. You can see that I got my can open. And we are going to cut each biscuit into 6 pieces. So they are going to be rather small pieces that we're cutting our biscuit into. And I'm just going to set my cut pieces on a paper plate. All bubble up recipes have a biscuit base. So they do have you cut them typically into smaller pieces just because it does help cover the bottom of your pan. And that's what allows it to bubble up. And that is where the name bubble up comes from. So I'm going to get all 10 of my biscuits cut into 6 pieces for a total of 60 pieces. Next, I'm going to take a small bowl and I'm going to mix together my 1/2 cup of reduced fat or fat-free ricotta cheese. And to that, I'm going to mix my 2 tablespoons of egg whites, which was about 2 eggs worth of the egg white. And we're just going to mix this together until the ricotta and the egg whites are combined. So the first step before going into the oven is we are going to grease our 9x13 pan with some nonstick cooking spray. I do have my meat mixture here, and it does say to put 1/2 of the meat mixture onto the bottom of our 9x13 pan. And we're going to reserve the other half of our meat mixture because it is going to top the layers of the lasagna. And what's crazy is this recipe does not use any noodles. So kind of funny. The biscuits, I guess, sub is that for the lasagna piece of it. But I have added 1/2 of my meat mixture to the bottom of my pan. The next step is to take the ricotta egg mixture and we're just going to drop it on top of our meat mixture. And they said just get it as even as you can, cover as much of the bottom of the pan as you can with the ricotta cheese and egg mixture. So I'm just gonna drop this by the spoonful as evenly as I can over the bottom of the baking dish. So I've put my ricotta cheese over my meat mixture, and then the next step is to take our pieces of biscuit and we're just going to drop those on top of the ricotta cheese and the meat mixture. Excuse my dog, apparently something really exciting is going on outside. So I am going to drop these little bits of biscuit as evenly over the top as I can before we add on our next layer. So I've added my biscuit dough pieces to the top of the meat mixture and the ricotta cheese. So the next step is to add the remainder of my meat mixture over the top of my biscuits and the ricotta. This looks really good. It smells really good. So I am very excited. Now, if I was thinking, if you wanted to help modify this a little bit more to be a little more kid-friendly, you could omit the onions, or you could even just use a little bit less onions, but they are going to cook down in the mixture, so I don't know if your kids honestly would even notice, but I did go ahead and add the remainder of my meat mixture, and then the next step is to add our 3/4 cup of our cottage cheese, and we do kind of want to spread that around as evenly as we can over our mixture. And this all, again, simulates lasagna. And could you imagine the points if we had actual lasagna and had noodles mixed in here? Because that's where a lot of your points come in when you're having pasta dishes, is the pasta. So this is a definitely good alternative to actual noodles in your lasagna. So I have added my cottage cheese, and then the last step before it goes into the oven is we are going to sprinkle over the top our Parmesan cheese, and this is about 1½ tablespoons. Now you can use the grated Parm, or the shaky cheese, I always call it, but I always, if possible, prefer to sub out real Parmesan cheese. So there's that. And then I think the last thing I'm going to do to the top of mine is I'm going to add just a bit more of my Dax, just for that little bit extra Italian flavoring to my lasagna. So I did just sprinkle just a bit more of the seasoning on top. And this is going to go into my oven at 375 uncovered for 25 minutes. And then I'll pull it out and we'll top it with our light mozzarella. So I've pulled my Lasagna Bubble Up out of the oven. Look at that, you guys. Yum. This looks so good. So the last step is to take my ½ cup of the light mozzarella. I'm going to just sprinkle that on top. And then I'm just going to put this back into the oven for about another 10 minutes. I just want to make sure that all of the cheese gets melted pretty evenly, and just make sure that the Bubble Up is cooked through all of the biscuits and things. So, oh my gosh, you guys, this looks amazing. My Lasagna Bubble Up is out of the oven. Excuse the sound. I've got my microwave warming up my broccoli. But look at this. I mean, what kid or adult alike would not be in love with this? This is a huge pan, and this recipe only makes 6 servings. So I'm going to cut this into 6 pieces. I'll plate that up with my vegetables, and I will show you what my dinner looks like. But, oh my gosh, this looks so good. I cannot wait. And here is my dinner plated up. So this is 1/6 of the Lasagna Bubble Up, and you can see that I did pair it with some broccoli, and I did have some leftover Brussels sprouts in my fridge, so I went ahead and warmed those up as well. So this is a pretty good size piece. It's meaty, it's delicious, it's cheesy. So excited. So this is going to be tonight's dinner. Of course, I do have all of the points on the screen, and I will link the recipe in the description box below. So bon appetit. I hope you enjoyed this comfort food for the entire family, both family friendly and WW friendly. If you haven't already, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love to have you as part of my YouTube friends and family. Give my video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know if you try this recipe and what you and your family thought, or if you've tried any of my previous comfort foods for the entire family. And again, thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I will see all of you in my next video.